What's up, Buzzcast Nation? Get ready for your daily dose of breaking news that matters. First up, the Gulf Coast Storm Team is on high alert, tracking a tropical wave in the East Atlantic that's showing a growing chance of developing into a full-blown tropical depression by mid to late week. Will this system impact the coast? We've got the latest. Then, we're jetting over to Africa where Burkina Faso, under Security Minister Mahamadou Sana, has just scrapped visa fees for all African travelers, a bold move aimed at boosting continental free movement. But there's a twist with regional block changes. Plus, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, has suspended their warning strike after government commitments on crucial demands. We'll break down what this means. We're heading to international courts next, where France has scored a major legal victory against Equatorial Guinea's Vice President Teodoro Obiang Mang in a high-stakes corruption case involving a seized Paris mansion. The ICJ has ruled, and the details are stunning. And in South Sudan, deadly floods are displacing over 100,000 people, with the UNHCR warning of a worsening humanitarian crisis. Finally, we're diving into the grim reality in Sudan, where aid agencies like the WFP and WHO are sounding the alarm about children bearing the brunt of a prolonged war, facing escalating hunger and malnutrition. It's a critical situation demanding global attention. You don't want to miss a second of this crucial update. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you never miss a story. A tropical threat on the horizon. The Gulf Coast Storm Team is keeping a vigilant eye on the Atlantic, tracking a tropical wave that's showing increasing potential for development. This area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms, currently moving west between 10 to 15 mph, has a significant chance, a 70% probability, of forming into a tropical depression by mid to late this week. While dry air might pose a short-term challenge, the main development region of the Atlantic is expected to offer a more favorable environment as the system progresses. This could be the next named storm of the season, and residents along the Gulf Coast are urged to stay informed. The National Hurricane Center is closely monitoring the situation, and Gulf Coast News will provide continuous updates as this tropical wave evolves. As the tropics heat up, communities are bracing for potential impacts, with many already impacted by severe weather earlier this year. Analysts are closely watching the progression and potential landfall zones. Don't go anywhere, because the forecast is far from settled. Next, we're heading to Africa for a groundbreaking policy change that could reshape travel across the continent. Africa's open door policy. In a significant move to foster continental unity and economic growth, Burkina Faso has officially scrapped visa fees for all African travelers. Security Minister Mahamadou Sana announced that citizens from any African country can now enter Burkina Faso without paying visa fees, a policy designed to boost the free movement of people and goods. While an online application will still be required for approval, this decision places Burkina Faso alongside nations like Ghana, Rwanda, and Kenya in easing travel restrictions. This development comes as Burkina Faso, along with Mali and Niger, has withdrawn from the regional bloc ECOWAS, adding a complex layer to regional dynamics. This policy shift is being hailed by many as a crucial step towards greater African integration and economic opportunity, though its long-term implications for regional security and trade are still being assessed. But the news from Africa doesn't stop there. We've got a crucial update on a strike suspension that's impacting healthcare. Next, we're turning to the International Court of Justice for a major ruling in a high-profile corruption case. France triumphs in Equatorial Guinea corruption case. The International Court of Justice has delivered a significant legal victory to France, ruling in favor of the nation in its dispute with Equatorial Guinea over a lavish Paris mansion. This property was seized as part of a corruption probe into Vice President Teodoro Obiang Mang, the son of the country's longtime ruler. Equatorial Guinea had accused France of violating international law by retaining the Avenue Foch property, which French courts had confiscated in 2021 after finding Obiang guilty of embezzlement. The ICJ, however, determined that Equatorial Guinea had not presented a sufficient legal basis to reclaim the mansion, which features amenities like a cinema, nightclub, and hammam, and was among several luxury assets seized. This ruling underscores the global efforts to combat corruption and hold officials accountable, resonating with international observers and anti-graft organizations who have long highlighted the disparity between Obiang's opulent lifestyle and the poverty faced by many in Equatorial Guinea. Justice has been served in Paris, but a crisis is unfolding elsewhere. Meanwhile, devastating floods are wreaking havoc, forcing mass displacement and a desperate humanitarian plea. South Sudan's devastating flood crisis. South Sudan is grappling with a severe humanitarian crisis as new, deadly floods have displaced over 100,000 people, primarily in the Jonglei, Upper Nile, and Unity states. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, warns that if the flooding continues, the number of displaced individuals could surge to 400,000 by year's end, exceeding previous records. These catastrophic floods have not only destroyed homes, schools, and health facilities, but have also decimated livestock and contaminated vital water sources. This environmental disaster is exacerbating an already critical health situation, worsening an ongoing cholera crisis and increasing the threat of further disease outbreaks. This unfolding disaster has drawn urgent appeals for international aid, with the UNHCR highlighting that current funding is far from sufficient to meet the immense needs of the affected population. The situation in South Sudan remains dire, with children and vulnerable communities bearing the heaviest burden. And as if that wasn't enough, we're turning to Sudan, where a prolonged conflict is pushing children to the brink. Finally, aid agencies are issuing dire warnings about the escalating crisis for children caught in the crossfire of war. And that's a wrap on today's top stories. We saw a tropical wave showing development potential in the Atlantic, Burkina Faso, making a bold move to scrap visa fees for African travelers, France securing a legal win in an international corruption case, and devastating floods displacing thousands in South Sudan, all while aid agencies warn of children suffering in Sudan's ongoing conflict. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Buzzcast for your daily news fix, hit that notification bell so you're always in the loop, leave a comment with your thoughts, and follow us on all social media platforms for more updates.